in this video, we're going to be talking about something that not a lot of people like to talk about, and that is how religious beliefs and values actually fuel retroactive jealousy. So when you kind of study religion, when you go to church, when you do these things, and when you learn about what is in your particular religion good versus bad, right versus wrong, and then later we hear something about our partner's past that falls in line with being bad or wrong compared to our religious beliefs, we are obviously going to feel some sort of negative emotion regarding that happening. Now, before we get started, guys, if anything in this video resonates with you, I do ask you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below. Let me know if your own religious beliefs or religious practices either aided you in overcoming retroactive jealousy or maybe made retroactive jealousy much more harmful for you. So kind of let me know your own story if you want in the comments below. And one more thing before I get started on this video, I just want to let you know that I didn't do any studying on religion or anything like this before I made this video. This video is strictly about my own experience regarding religion, religious beliefs, religious practices, that sort of thing, and retroactive jealousy. So growing up, I was a Christian, had Christian beliefs and Christian background, so it's going to kind of evolve around the Christian religion. However, I'm sure there are ways in which it can kind of relate to your own religion as well. So again, just a full disclosure, it's going to be about my personal experiences regarding this. So let's get started. So growing up, I practiced the Christian religion. So my family was very Christian. So automatically we went to church every Sunday. We all had Bibles. We all watched television shows and these things relating to the Christian religion and Christian beliefs. And this evolved in my life even more when I became a teen and things like that. I still went to church. I went to youth groups, trips and things like that that the church went on, things like that. I was very, very involved with my church at a young age and through my teenage ages. That included to a lot of kind of awkward times, I guess, like when you're changing from kid to teen and almost kind of teen to adult. You know a lot of people, a lot of your friends who are now starting to get girlfriends or get boyfriends and actually starting to have sex and things like that. And I was more on a pathway of, in my religious beliefs and practices, that sex is bad. Sex before marriage is bad. You go to hell if you have sex before marriage. And so learning those things at a young age into my teenage years and things like that, and even to early adulthood, that was really concreted into my brain that, sex before marriage is wrong. Sex with anybody else but a husband or wife is very, very bad. So I could never understand why anybody would want to have sex before marriage, because that means you go to hell. It's very, very bad. It's very, very wrong. So that was always my judgment that I placed on people, that my own friends even that I heard of that were having sex before marriage. Like, how could you possibly do this? What kind of person are you to even want to think about doing something like this? So already I'm placing these judgments, right? This is penetrating deep into my subconscious mind, and I'm automatically saying this is bad, this is wrong, this is how it shouldn't be. And this is how retroactive jealousy begins to kind of build the steam, right? It starts to get rolling a little bit. So eventually I ended up meeting a girl that went to the same church as I did. And this was kind of my first, I would say, maybe girlfriend, because we actually started getting very serious with each other. And at this time we were about 14 years old, 15 years old. And we never had sex, but we experienced some very, very intimate moments with each other. And to me, those moments were very, very special because this was the first girl I'd ever experienced this with. We both went to church together. We both believed in Jesus and God and those things. We shared those beliefs, but at the same time, we were experimenting, I guess you would say, with each other, right? Because I was kind of her first and she was my first. Not as far as sex, but again, very intimate moments. And this relationship took place over a summer of 2004, I believe it was. And towards the end of summer, and I don't remember exactly why it was, but we ended up kind of mutually splitting up. She kind of lived further away. We really only saw each other kind of on Sundays when there was church and things like that. So I think mutually we just kind of decided to remain friends, which was totally cool, totally fine. We went to different schools and things like that. Well, not too long after this, she ended up moving to my city and ended up attending my school that I went to. And so we ended up rekindling, I guess, the romantic part of our relationship, and we ended up started dating again. This was maybe 3 months after we had split up. This was not long at all. This happened very, very fast. So we kind of dated for a little bit, shared some intimate moments for, I'd say, about 4 months, 3 months. Then she moved away. We split it off, and 3 months later, now she's back. We decide to get back together. Well, then she shares with me that during this 3 months that we were apart, she had another intimate experience with another guy. They didn't date, they didn't do anything. They just kind of met each other, talked for a couple weeks, and ended up having an intimate experience similar to what me and her had shared. And this idea killed me, literally killed me, because I thought what me and her had together was very special. The moments we shared were very special, and it took a lot of time to build up to that, to get to those intimate experiences that we were having. Yet she could turn right around and boom, instantly do it with some random dude. And this thought totally tore me apart, that these special moments that we had weren't even maybe special to her, because she could easily go off and do them with anybody. And those were the thoughts that were going through my head. And even these Christian kind of thoughts were going through my head, that like, wow, so you could easily go and meet some random guy and do whatever you want with him. That's not what we practice in Christianity. That's completely wrong. You probably will be going to hell for this, and labeling names and stuff to her, relating her to that sort of subject. To even go as far as to say, like, in my mind thinking, oh, what a slut, what a whore, like horrible things, right? Totally horrible things. But these were the things I was thinking. This is what my values and things, these core things that were deep inside me, were relating to this situation. Is that's what she was. She's somebody that's now going to hell for doing these horrible, terrible things. And after that, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with her. We broke up, didn't even give it a chance, because I couldn't live with the fact that she is somebody that would go against religion, go against what we believed in, and do something like that with some random person that I felt was special for us, and she could easily just go and do it with anybody else. Now, later on in my life, as I kind of separated a little bit more from the constant going to church and things like that, I still held a lot of those Christian beliefs, but I didn't study them regularly like I did. But I found them still kind of popping up later throughout my life. And that's in any relationship I would get in. When I would meet someone, things would be so nice and so fresh. I wouldn't have a care in the world. I'd feel wonderful meeting this someone new. I felt super confident. It was like every day was an adventure, right? Everything, again, was just super fresh, felt great, didn't care about anything at all. However, soon that relationship would then get to a more like comfortable type of level. And once it reached that level and that kind of newness wore off, I started looking at my partners, my latest partners, whatever it would be, as, wow, these people are so nice, they're so kind, they're so loving, almost subconsciously putting them in this kind of Christian circle, kind of this Christian bracket. And then I would find out about their sexual past or their past partners, and immediately I would start to judge them and label them that, whoa, you're so nice, you're so kind, you're so gentle, how could you have a past like this? How could you have a past experience like this? How could you have sex with this person? How could you do this? How could you do that? That's not the type of person you are. And I would just immediately label this as bad, as wrong, as almost like this idea of you're going to hell for this. And again, it was all subconsciously. I wasn't consciously thinking, oh, they're going to hell. But it's like a subconscious thing that it's concreted and wired into my brain from when I was younger. And so this would happen throughout all these relationships that I would have, as they'd start out great, start out confident, fun, nice, not a care in the world. And then very soon after that, when we'd reach that comfort level, boom, these thoughts would start coming in. I'd start looking at them as this nice, kind, loving person, almost like a mom type idea. And I'd find out their past, and I thought, that is not you. How dare you? How could you do that? Now, I'm not saying that these thoughts that I had, this retroactive jealousy, was completely 100% like this Christian religion or Christian beliefs. I think it stemmed from a lot of different insecurities. Insecurities being a huge, huge thing. But I do think religion played a role in this, especially when you're at a young age, like when you're wired, when these beliefs are wired into your brain. when you hear it over and over and over again about what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, and literally it just comes over in your life. It easily takes over in your life, and you start pinpointing things. That's bad, this is bad, that's right, good job, bad job, things like that, right? Remember, a belief is only a thought that we keep thinking. A belief is just a thought that we think about over and over and over again. And if you think a thought long enough, it becomes a belief. When you hear something for a long enough period of time over and over again, it becomes a belief. And so in my case, these Christian beliefs started showing in my romantic life through retroactive jealousy as this is bad, not good. You shouldn't be doing this type of stuff. You shouldn't have done this. So how did I get from that point in my life to where I am now, where I've completely overcome retroactive jealousy? And it really has to do with kind of just suspending old beliefs and detaching those wires in our brain that are wired to think certain things are right or wrong, and unattaching them and letting go of those things. Understanding that everyone has a past, everyone makes mistakes, everyone had to do things to lead them down a certain trajectory in life that eventually led to you, led to me. These things had to happen in order for me to happen in their life, right? It does not make them a bad person at all. It's only your judgment that you've placed on them that makes them seem like a bad person. But what you get on the inside, what you are on the inside, is a reflection of what you see outside. So it comes into your own eternal beliefs projected into the outer world that create retroactive jealousy, that create these negative emotions behind these thoughts and feelings that we get. Remember, nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Your judgments make it so, and that's it. Everything else is neutral. You are actually picking and choosing what is bad, what is good, so on and so forth, based on those past belief systems that you've adopted. So for me, it was really understanding what those thoughts and beliefs were that were causing me to experience retroactive jealousy, and detaching from them and letting go of them altogether. I'm not saying I'm not like a Christian anymore. I think I still share a lot of the Christian kind of beliefs and values, but some of those main core values of you're going to hell for this and so on and so forth, I had to let go of. I had to let go of those ideas, because if you keep them in your mind, they're going to almost be toxic to you, especially when it comes to retroactive jealousy. So I kind of gave up some of those beliefs, and I adopted more ones of letting go and just allowing and detaching and understanding that, you know, the only judgments, again, there are in the world are the ones that you place on the world. And there's stuff in the Bible that even talks about this exact thing, about simply letting go of the past. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. There's even a quote in Ephesians that says, get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every other form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. So really adopting those types of beliefs, those types of core values, went beyond anything that I could really believe before. If I adopted those strategies in my everyday life, and when I did, it allowed me to break free of retroactive jealousy, to start forgiving rather than placing blame and labels and judgments and things like that on situations and on people. And I don't think you have to be Christian to understand this message or anything. I think all religions can kind of relate to the same idea. And that idea is simply just forgiving, just letting go of things that do not serve you. Live a life of love, of compassion, of bliss, of forgiveness, and everything else that happens, just leave it for everyone else. You know, put it on the shoulders of God, of your God, of whatever it is. Just put it on their shoulders, and you focus on you and living your life to the best of your ability. So that kind of wraps things up today, guys. If you did like this video, or anything resonated with you in this video, or you want more videos on overcoming retroactive jealousy, please do hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button if you did enjoy any aspects of the video, and please leave a comment below if your own religious beliefs have either helped you in overcoming retroactive jealousy or worked against you in overcoming retroactive jealousy. I'd love to hear what you have to say. and other users on the channel, I'm sure, would love to hear your story as well. And again, if you want more help in overcoming retroactive jealousy, I do have the Retroactive Jealousy course, and the link is in the description below, along with the Retroactive Jealousy community on Facebook, where you can come together with other members who have either suffered from or are currently suffering from retroactive jealousy, and discuss with them your own story and how ways of you've been able to overcome, and you can hear from them as well, and you can help each other out. And of course, I have the Retroactive Jealousy free meditation that you can sign up for below as well, that will really help you out. So again, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more, but until then, we'll see you next time.